Today I thought I'd just give you a little introduction. This is a great place to start if you want to begin a restorative practice. I'm going to begin by talking to you for just a couple of minutes before we get into the practice, because there's a couple of things that are really helpful to understand when we go into a restorative practice, even like why do we even do it. And one of those things that's so important to understand is the nervous system, because our nervous system has everything to do with your well-being. So whether it's physical well-being, something, physical pain in your body or inflammation or digestion, or whether it's mental stress or mental or emotional pain in some way, it all has to do with your nervous system. And the best way that I like to teach this about the nervous system is Jillian Pransky has a house analogy that she uses. So I had my son make us a little graphic. I'm going to see if you can, let's see, can you see that? There we go. So the nervous system is like a house full of rooms. And in this room, we have one big room, and this big room is all about immediate survival. So these are things like, and as we know, the immediate survival would be your fight or flight. So things that happen in this immediate survival are awesome because our body knows how to take care of us. It's things like your heart rate increases, your eyes dilate, your muscles tense. Energy comes away from things like digestion, and our breathing quickens. We release hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Those are all things that help us in the moment to get things done. And then we have all these other rooms, and these rooms are our long-term health. So these are things that when we're in the rest and digest, these are things that our body is working on. Things like, that's when we work on digestion, elimination, immunity, long-term growth, repair in the body. And I put down here, I also added pain, so that if we want to heal from some type of physical pain or mental or emotional pain, this all happens in the long term. So here's the thing that's important to remember. We have one source of energy. I'm just going to check again, make sure you can see this. We have one source of energy coming into this house of our nervous system. And the thing is, when that energy comes into the house, it can either go to our sympathetic or parasympathetic nervous system. So it either goes to fight or flight or rest and digest. It cannot go to both at the same time. That's what's so important to understand, because a restorative yoga practice is all about training your body, your nervous system, to go more into rest and digest, to spend more time there. And so many of us spend so much time. We can spend hours, we can spend days, we can spend weeks in the fight or flight. Sometimes we recognize it if you're not getting a lot of good sleep, if we're anxious a lot at night, that might be a sign that you're spending a lot of time in the fight or flight. So that's just a quick little overview of the nervous system and why that's so important. And so everything we do in restorative yoga, and especially in these practices that I do, it's all in an effort to help us train the nervous system to move more easily into that state of rest and digest. Because, like I said, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, whatever's going on with us, our well-being has everything to do with spending more time in the rest and digest. We want to spend a majority of our time there. So that's a little background. I'm Janet, if we haven't met, and I teach practices to help release stress, to build resilience, and to help you find more peace and calm. So I'm so glad you're here today. For this practice today, we're going to use a bolster and 2 blankets. So go ahead and gather your props and then meet me on your bolster. I'm going to grab my blankets. Alrighty. So just come to sit on your bolster so that you're nice and comfortable. We're going to begin seated with a few movements to warm the body, to prepare the nervous system to go into that state of rest when we get to the restorative pose with the props. So have a seat, sit up nice and tall, soften or close your eyes if you'd like, and take a moment to tune into your breath. And as you're tuning into your breath, notice here how your body is feeling today. Can you notice how your nervous system is feeling? Or what emotions you might be feeling right now? One tool that we're going to focus on today is the tool of slowness, moving a little bit slower. We live in a world where we tend to value fast, we value productivity, and I value those things too, but we need to make sure that we have ample time where we're also moving slow, because slowness cultivates a sense of awareness. So I want you to imagine that you're eating a meal, and we have a couple of options. We can eat a meal while we're scrolling social media or checking emails, or we can eat a meal where we're being very intentional, where we notice the colors of the food, where we notice the vibrancy and the textures, we notice the tastes. I mean, that's two different experiences. And we want to make sure that we at least spend some time in this cultivating this slowness. We can do the same thing when we're outside, noticing and feeling that connection. That's another thing slowness does. It helps us connect so we can feel a connection to the earth. Think about your relationships. Is there a relationship that could use a little bit of slowness, that you could cultivate some slowness, maybe so that you could really notice the features of this person, that you could look into their eyes, that you could hear not only their words, but maybe hear from your heart, from their heart to your heart, the feelings that are behind, without judgment, just with a connection. And so I invite you to set an intention today of maybe cultivating some slowness in your day. Maybe think of maybe just one instance in your day where you would like to cultivate a little bit more of this slowness, a little bit more of this awareness for connection. As you're ready, open your eyes. We're going to reach the right arm up overhead. Inhale. And then nice and slow, bring the elbow down so that you're going to cactus this arm. Inhale, reach it back up and over. Moving nice and slow. Exhale, cactus the elbow so the elbow comes down and back. Inhale, overhead. Exhale, bring it down. Just move nice and slow. And then on this last one, we're going to inhale the arm overhead and pause here to take a couple of breaths. Maybe notice how this opens up your left side body. If you'd like, you can look up towards the ceiling if that feels all right on your neck. Opening up your chest and your shoulder a little bit more. And then bring your arm down. Let your hand rest in your lap. Soften or close your eyes. Notice for a moment what you're feeling in that right hand, in that right arm. Do you feel any sensations after holding it above your head like that? Does your right arm feel different than the left? Okay, open your eyes. Let's do the same thing on the other side. We're going to bring the left arm up. Inhale, reach your left arm overhead. Exhale, cactus your elbow. Inhale, reach it. We're also warming up the spine here. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. This time we're going to breathe in, pause, and then don't hold your breath. Continue to breathe here. If you'd like, rotate, look up to the ceiling. Feel that shoulder open up. If that's uncomfortable for your neck, just go ahead and look straight ahead or down at the ground. Notice if you can keep both sit bones down on your bolster while you reach up through those fingers. And then bring that arm down again, rest it in your lap, soften or close your eyes, and notice again what you're feeling. Notice if you feel any sensations through the arm, maybe energy pulsing through that arm. Do you notice anything in the shoulder or maybe underneath your arm, different from your other arm? Awesome. Okay, we're going to come off the bolster and get a little bit more movement before we go into our restorative pose. So just set your bolster aside for the moment and come onto your hands and knees. We're coming into tabletop. Knees under your hips, your hands underneath your shoulders, maybe a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Spread your fingers wide. Find your neutral spine to get started, and then we're going to take some cat-cows. I want you to really bring your awareness to your tailbone. We're going to start at the tailbone. As you inhale, lift your tailbone. Your belly's going to start to drop as you arch your back. 1, one vertebra at a time. Lift your chest forward, your head lifts. And then bring your awareness back to your tailbone. See if you can start to round through your tailbone. It's going to round your spine one vertebra at a time again until you bring your chin in towards your chest. Inhale, beginning with your tailbone. Tilt your tailbone. Drop your belly. Find that arch in your spine. Lift your chest and your face. Exhale, tuck your tailbone. Find that roundness in your spine. Maybe press the floor away with your hands and your knees this time. And then continue like that, bringing that awareness to your tailbone to begin. And then let your breath move you. These might be subtle movements, or they might be a little bit larger. We're just working into the tailbone or into the spine. This is the slow, fluid movement that your nervous system loves. Your nervous system loves these slow, fluid movements. All right, come back onto all fours. We're going to come down onto the belly. Bring your hands next to your chest. Bring your forehead to the mat. Pull your elbows straight back. And on an inhale, roll your head and shoulders up. Gently press into your hands to lift. Exhale, roll it back down, forehead to the mat. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, roll down. Inhale to rise. Exhale, lower. This time when you inhale and you come up, maybe pause here, maybe press into your hands and lift. Not real high, just a little bit higher. Be aware of how your low back is feeling. Keep it out of that low back. Exhale, round it down. This time we're going to press up and back, come into a child's pose. So bring your big toes together, your knees out wide, sit your hips back, bring your forearms to the floor for this child's pose. Bring your forehead to the mat. Notice what you're feeling in your back. And on an inhale, slide yourself forward, coming back into that tabletop. Adjust your knees, lift your head and your gaze just a little. Exhale back into that child's pose, forearms to the mat, forehead to the mat. Flowing, inhaling to tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, sunbird, so we lift the gaze. Exhale, child's. And we're going to pause here in our child's pose. Bring your hands back, come up to seated. We're going to move into our restorative pose now. So gather your bolster. We're going to bring the bolster in front of us on the mat. Longwise, like your mat or your floor. We're going into a belly down twist, an all-time favorite in classes and in my personal practice. So the bolster comes right up against your right hip. So bring your right hip up to the bolster. Your knees are bent. You can take one of your blankets, fold it up, and place it at the top. This is going to be a little rest for your head to give you a little more support here. We're going to take the other blanket and place it between your calves. You might even want to fold it for a little more support. However much support you feel like you need there, you can adjust that. And then rotate your body towards your bolster. So we're going to place one hand on either side of the bolster. As you press your hands down, I want you to think about lengthening the front of your body, lengthening through your spine. And then keep that length as you fold down. Look over to the left, same side as your knees, and rest your head on that blanket. And then let your forearms come down and allow your body to release. I'm going to come up so that I can keep talking to you. Allow your body to release here. Feel your body accepting that support. So this pose is such a nice gentle twist through your spine. Make any adjustments that you need to so that you're nice and comfortable. This twist, it opens up your back. It stretches those muscles all along your back. It's also going to open up your intercostal muscles, those intercostal muscles, the muscles between your ribs, to making space for your lungs. And notice how you can feel your breath here, how your breath raises you up a little bit on the inhale, and then you kind of deflate again on the exhale. So this is good for your lungs also. And now that we've been here for just a minute, if you want more of a twist, totally optional. If you would like to feel more rotation in your spine, press into your hands, raise yourself up, find that length in your spine as you look forward, and then come back down and rotate so that your opposite cheek is down on the mat and you're looking away from your knees. And then allow yourself to settle down, release your arms, release through your shoulders. You can soften or close your eyes. Notice where you might be gripping in your body. Notice if you're gripping in your hips. And allow your hips to release and soften. Soften through your low back, your mid back, your upper back. Allow your shoulder blades to splay apart. Allow your arms to rest on the floor. And allow your head to be heavy. Now, if you took that extra twist and it's not really comfortable, then go ahead and come back. We're looking for a lot of comfort here. We're not looking for a deep stretch. So we want to be able to go into that, to let the body shift into the nervous system, to the rest and digest. So if it's too much at any time, just come back. And then continue to settle in. Maybe become aware of the sensations of your breath flowing through your body. And if you'd like, you can come back to this idea of cultivating slowness if you'd like something to think about right now. Where might you benefit in your life if you could cultivate a little bit more slowness? What relationship might you be able to connect more with? We'll be here for about another minute, so option is to stay with this meditation if you'd like, or just to release, come back into the sensations of your breath, or you can always take that little scan, notice where you're gripping, and on every exhale, allow your body to release just a little bit more into this pose. We're going to prepare to move out of this pose. So bring your awareness back to your breath. Notice your breath flowing through your body. And as you're ready, pull your hands back next to your side. Gently press into your arms, lift up, look forward for a moment. And then go ahead and rotate around so that your back comes to the bolster. Send your legs out long. Bring your hands back behind you, lean back, and then just rotate your legs. Maybe let's bend the knees. Moving nice and slow. You can start to notice the effect that this practice is having on your nervous system. So We'll keep that going by just moving slowly, noticing how it feels to move the knees after you've been in that belly down twist. Okay, and as you're ready, we're going to come to the other side. So you can rotate now, bring your left hip to the bolster. I'm going to go ahead and switch my bolster. You don't need to do this, but just so that I can still be looking at you. Bring your left hip to the bolster. Keep that blanket up for your head, and then that other blanket, again, place it between your calves. And when you're ready, rotate to look at the bolster. One hand on either side, lengthen up through your spine. Inhale to really find that length. And then exhale, hinge forward. Look the same direction as your knees, so your left cheek is coming down. Let your forearms rest on the mat. And then settle in. First, we'll settle in here, and if you took that extra twist on the other side, I'll tell you when to move, but we're gonna just gently settle into this twist first. Again, notice that opening in your shoulders. Invite your hips to release if you're feeling any tension in the hips. Effortless legs. Allow your low back to feel soft. And feel that opening in your ribs, those intercostal muscles between the ribs, making space for your lungs. And if you'd like to take that other extra twist, this is the time to do it, just an option. Pull your hands back, press yourself up. Inhale to find length in your spine, and then slowly rotate down, bringing your right cheek down onto the bolster this time. And settle in. Take any movements that you need to make yourself nice and comfortable. And use your breath to help you settle in. Every exhale, releasing. Feel your shoulder blades go wide. Allow your head to release and be heavy. And notice here if you feel something different on this side than the other. You might notice that your hips might be tighter or shoulder might be tighter. Just notice, no judgment. And if you'd like here, we're going to add a little bit of breathing to this. So as you inhale, begin to count to 4. So it's inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale completely, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale. An invitation to keep this breathing going if you'd like, or just tune into the sensations of your breath. And whenever you're ready, release into this pose. We'll release into stillness for a couple of minutes.
Okay, we're going to prepare to come out of this pose. And connect back with your breath. Maybe give yourself a fuller breath in. And an easy exhale. As you're ready, slide your hands back. Press into your hands and press yourself up to seated. Very slowly and mindfully come back to seated on your bolster without messing too much with your props. We're going to take a moment here to notice how this practice felt for you, so you can soften or close your eyes again. Notice how your nervous system feels. You have so much power inside of you to shift that nervous system. Different ways to do it. And today I invite you to cultivate that slowness, to find that connection, that deeper connection with yourself or with the world, with a loved one, maybe even with your higher power, whatever it is you're feeling drawn to do today. Thank you so much for your practice today. I appreciate spending this time with you. If you found this practice helpful, I would love to hear about it in the comments. Have a wonderful day.